So I've probably been camping like, I don't know, maybe once or twice in my life. And it's just not something that's really for me, to be honest. It's just not that fun, not comfortable, definitely not comfortable. I remember waking up to like the wind blowing and the tent was just all, going crazy. I was a little freaked out for a second there. And not to mention my back was just destroyed. But yeah, I don't know if it's because I just, grew up in the city or whatnot. I didn't really go camping or anything like that as a kid. So I just don't really have any, fondness for it. And if those reasons weren't enough, I guess mainly it would be also because it's a little spooky. I've heard some stories and seen some stuff online of people talking about some crazy experiences they've had out in the forest and stuff. So I think we'll just go through some of those today and hear some of these creepy camping tales. So let's just get right into it.
Here are 10 things you should never do when visiting or crossing the Appalachian Mountains on foot. For those that don't know, the Appalachian Mountains are an ancient mountain range in North America, specifically in eastern Canada and United States. They are among the oldest mountain ranges on Earth. At some point, they were as tall, if not taller, than the current Himalayas. However, land degradation and time itself has since eroded these mountain ranges, reducing them into long forested ridges and deep shadowed hollows over millions of years. The mountain ranges specifically are extremely dangerous because they are dead zones. If you get lost in these mountain ranges, not only will no one hear you scream, but you'll likely disappear forever. When you stand on the Appalachian Mountains, you're standing on something older than time itself, as old as mammals themselves. People have disappeared and died here. There have been many cases of things mimicking human sounds, human or not. This is not folktale or legend. That is why these 10 things you should never do if you're...
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that a few times, like, I don't know, skinwalkers or different things like that. But like that, you can say you don't believe in any whatever supernatural stuff, but there's like enough of these stories to where there has to be some type of like, I don't know, legitimacy to it or something, right? Like they can't all just be like old wise tales or folk tales or whatever. There has to be some legitimacy to at least a few of them, right? So anyways, let's see her top 10 mistakes not to make.
Ever in the Appalachian Mountains. Number 1. Assume that your GPS will save you. The Appalachian Mountains themselves are dead zones, every single corner of it. The mountains themselves are folded and repetitive. Everything looks familiar, including the valleys and the ridges. Batteries die very quickly in these dead zones. And most importantly, weather can shift drastically fast. People have died, got kidnapped, vanished, and went missing because they trusted tech over preparation. Know where you're going to. Number 2. Ignoring sudden silence. Birds stop chirping, insects stop cricketing. If the only thing you can hear is the wind and the trees blowing, there is something dangerous nearby, most likely a predator. Always pay attention to your surroundings.
That's what I was going to say too. I've heard that, I guess if the birds, go quiet and all that, there's a predator nearby. And, I'm not saying it has to be supernatural. It might just be a bear, And yeah, with that in mind too, like, without any of the supernatural stuff, in there, that's another big reason why I won't be going camping. There's legitimately bears out there, like these real life creatures that are like huge, fast, and can climb a tree. So there's like no getting away. You would think something that big, okay, I could just climb a tree, but they can climb a tree after you and pretty fast too. I seen a video of this hunter or whatever in the forest, and this bear just climbs up it like so fast. I didn't think, there's another big reason right there. Anyways.
Everything goes quiet at once. No birds, no insects, no mammals, no small anything. Leave the area immediately and stay hidden. Number 3. Entering abandoned cabins or mine shafts. This should be common sense. Why are you entering an abandoned cabin? Number 1, they're structurally unsafe. Number 2, they could be full of wildlife. Number 3, there could be a lot of toxic gases in there. And most terrifyingly of all, that could be occupied by someone who does not want any visitors. And if they do, it's usually fatal.
Or
Number 4, leaving your trail to take a shortcut. The Appalachian Mountains are absolutely unforgiving. Cliffs, sinkholes, sudden drop-offs, and dense rhododendron thickets can trap you very fast. Do not trust these mountains. Always stay within your planned trail. Stay close to people. Number 5, following voices that call your name, especially if
Hell
you are
no.
alone.
No.
Sound travels very weirdly in these mountains, and there have been confirmed documented cases of things mimicking human voices. You shouldn't even be traveling alone at the first place. You should always be traveling with people.
I think that also, that like gets me real big. Like something that sounds like a human or one of your friends or something, you know, like calling out your name. I don't know, that gives me like chills thinking about that. Like, what happens if you go to it, you know?
People stay close and huddled. If you hear these sounds, leave immediately and make a run. Number 6, whistling at night. This is an old, classic Appalachians rule. Never whistle at night. Better yet, don't whistle at all, day or night. Many people who have survived in the Appalachians Mountains have reported that whistling at night can and will attract something that can mimic the sound back to you. Even skeptics themselves agree that whistling carries the sound very far and can and will attract unwanted human attention. Number 7, camping on unmarked burial grounds or unmarked graves. People even say don't even go near these areas. Appalachia has centuries of forgotten history. Many people who've been to Appalachian Mountains or are literal locals there will straight up refuse to even enter these areas, and they won't explain why. Follow their advice.
That's crazy.
Number 8, disagreeing, ignoring, or even mocking the old folklore regarding the Appalachian Mountains. There's a reason why these legends exist, and they have most likely been passed down for hundreds of generations. Yes, hundreds, because these mountains are old as time itself. Ignoring it, let alone not even listening to it, is a great way to miss real survival advice that has been passed down from generation to generation. Number 9 is extremely obvious, and that is traveling alone without telling anyone. Search and rescue is non-existent, practically and theoretically. If no one knows where you are already significantly in trouble. If you get lost, you will die. And finally, number 10, assuming that the mountains themselves are empty. They are absolutely not. They are anything but empty. Wildlife is absolutely everywhere. There are human predators there, everywhere. And some places always feel watched. Always respect that feeling. It's always your instinct telling you there is something wrong. Do not ignore that instinct. No, those were the 10 things you should never do when entering Appalachia. God bless and stay safe out there. Here are 10 things you...
Yeah, I think that's crazy too, that the locals around there like don't even want to go in there, or places, parts of it they won't go into or whatever. Like that says something right there. That's just like the beginning of a horror movie, you know, like the locals warning you about it and they don't even mess with that. Yeah, count me out, definitely. That's one place I will never visit in my life. But I'm happy to hear the stories about it. But let's move on. Let's see what's next.
This is probably one of the scariest videos I've seen in a long time. So this is Noah. He was on a camping trip one night, and while he was on his way back from said camping trip, he decided to pull off the side of the road and catch some Z's. What ends up happening that night is something so chilling, something so horrifying that you guys probably need headphones for it.
I'm currently sleeping in the back of my truck right now. I don't even know what time it is. And there's someone walking around my truck right now. If you can hear that, it's pretty loud. He's been walking around for like 20 minutes already. He's touching my truck.
Bro, you better have a gun on you.
Touching my truck. How am I supposed to get him away? He's literally knocking.
Nah. You better have a gun on you, bro.
On my truck. The canopy, the back door's locked. I've never been scared before ever. I don't think he knows that there's anyone in here. I'm gonna try to see if he goes away eventually. We'll see. He's literally peeking through the door right now. I've never been this scared ever. shine my light to get him scared. So he runs away. There he is. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now, from what I understand, the individual knocking on his doors and windows was only there for about an hour and a half, or something like that.
Only there for about an hour?
He did finally leave, and Noah was able to get out of there safe and sound. This is probably one of the scariest videos.
For one, you'd better be keeping, that tool on you, bro. Like, no way I'm going to be out camping or whatever anywhere and not having that. Like I said, not even like supernatural or anything like that. Just like a bear or, some crazy dude trying to break into your stuff. You got to always have that on you. That's what people are saying. Me personally, I would have done what vehicles were made to do and just drove away. Yeah. I think he was maybe in the back though, but yeah. Why the search camper finds pictures of himself sleeping? Ooh. That's the beginning of a creepypasta right there. So anyways, I started blasting for reals. Like, remember the camper in the middle of nowhere by himself found pictures of himself sleeping on his camera. What? That's very creepy. I need to look that up after this. Always have a pew-pew if you're sleeping in a vehicle, RV, camping, and so on. Like I was saying, everyone here has like the same thought. I would have jumped in the front seat so fast and taken off. I mean, that's really your only other option at that point, right? Like, if you don't got any self-defense on you, you gotta just hop in the front seat and go, Never go into the woods unarmed. Amen. I'm in my truck. How am I supposed to get away? They wanted to talk to you about an extended warranty on your truck. You and I have very different definitions of what's scary. Somebody's around your, like you'd be scared, for even a moment until you, got your wits about you. I would have started barking. Camper finds pictures of himself on his phone.
Oh my god, bro, there's someone up here. Oi! Oi! Calm down now. Oh.
See something walk across that damn forest floor.
Alright. I'm not sure exactly what I heard. Oh, I thought I heard a bump. Or like a thump or a thud or I don't know. I don't know if you all get these like whenever you're a noise in your dream, you wake up and you don't know whether it was in your dream or whether it was real.
Yeah, no. The light is the first thing that goes out before you peek. Yeah, for reals. Turn off the light, he can see you, but you can't see him. And this man is gonna leave the window open. Yeah. Have people not seen like horror movies, Like, I'm way too paranoid to be doing stuff like that. Even opening up the window and just peeking out. Anyways, let's get back to
The YouTuber Love Sundays likes to travel around in his van, sharing his journey with his viewers. Unfortunately, this video isn't the happy, joyful ones they usually are. He has some unexpected visitors during the night. If that wasn't creepy enough, the morning after gets creepier. Take a look.
A car's just pulled up, and it sounds like they're walking around the van.
What's up with all these people solo camping? Oh. Somebody coming at 3 a.m. looking around your stuff, I don't think they got good intentions.
The morning after.
See how miserable the weather is. My door's stuck.
They lock him in.
What the actual see that?
That's messed up.
It was obviously just people wanting to about and just be funny, I guess, but
What a dick.
how dangerous is that, locking someone in their van?
The YouTuber Love Sundays likes to travel around in his
That's
van.
so messed up. Like, they just stopped by to mess with this dude. Like, we're gonna lock him in. And this way of life is just too dangerous. Yeah, for reals. Like, that's another thing. You don't know what the other person that you're in the camper van is all about, you know? So you pull up trying to do something funny and just get blasted right away, you know? This is like watching those movies when y'all do exactly what you're not supposed to do. Yeah, for reals. Grab the pistola, yeah. I mean, that would have been very bad for those other people who are just trying to play a little prank. I can't imagine someone doing this and setting your van on fire. I'm sorry, but in today's world, you just never know. How scary. Yeah, I mean, sadly, it does seem like a freaking news headline that you would hear, you know?
This is why you should always trust your pets. On April of 2023, a woman named Dee decided to go camping alone with her 2 dogs at the Salt Fork State Park in Ohio. Shortly after arriving, she noticed one of her dogs, Mara, started acting strange, staring at something in the woods.
I did it. I'm here at the Stone Fork, or Salt Fork, Stone Fork. And Mara, Earth to Mara. Come here. What are you doing? What is it? I'm gonna wait for this fire to die out a little bit. I made a hot dog, you know, trying to get that smell out.
Thinking this might be a hiker or someone nearby, she ignores it since the area isn't completely secluded. But while setting up camp, she hears something running around her.
I got 2 between me and 1 in front of me. Just near the whole tree. Oh my God, that's crazy. Stop. Okay. Hi, my name's Dee. I love coming out in the woods at night, and I don't mean any harm. I'm not here to hurt anybody. I just like to get nature at night. Sounds weird right here. I don't feel right, man. I don't feel good at all.
Hi, my name's Dee. Like, what are you doing, lady? Get out of there. Like, how do you know, like I said, at the very least, it's not just a bear or some wolves or something like that. You know, you're going to talk to it. Like, I'd be gone. I'd be heading out of there right away. Also, I would never be in the situation. I mean, if I had to, like, on the tier list of, like, going camping, this would obviously camping alone, very bottom. But at the very least, I would bring protection, of course, but I'd bring my dogs with me, you know, like that. So you don't feel totally alone. You have some type of protection, I guess, you know, or alert to, you know, something crazy happening. But yeah, no.
She then decides to call it a night and heads into her tent, where she's woken up to the sounds of something moving closer.
Then more open land, and I was Stop. Hey, woo! Ah!
music is not helping.
Close, dude, no. She's nervous looking.
Oh.
Get away from me. If you're near my tent, please leave. What to do here? My fire's dying down. I figure I'll just let it. Stop! Oh God! Jesus Christ! Stop!
I would let those dogs out, or at least one of those dogs out.
I know. Okay, we're going. Okay, all right.
Feeling it's too dangerous, she now decides to make her way back in the dark. But bad news is, it's in the direction where the sounds are coming from.
I can't do it.
God, you're like such a sitting duck out there.
Now, when she makes it to the car, she hears something running towards her as it stops and growls. Dee then safely drives off. Now, the ongoing theory is that she was being followed by a man she had spotted earlier in the video. Based on the growl, it didn't seem like it could have been a person, but let me know what you think it could have been.
Oh man, that's either a bear or a freaking skinwalker or something. Who goes camping alone? Like, that's always the number one comment I keep seeing in these, and I agree. Who in their right mind goes camping alone? I just love nature at nighttime. Go to the damn city park. Well, that's not much safer, depending on your city. But yeah, no, I feel like for most things, when it gets nighttime, you should just be home, you know? Definitely not out there camping. You're like a sitting duck. You're like floating in like an ocean or something, you know? Like it's just you with your fire and it's darkness and woods all around you and everything else can like look at you and see, you know, but you can't see them. It's not good, bro. It's not, no bueno. Not bringing a defensive weapon in an unknown forest while camping. One question, why the hell would you go camping in a forest all alone? Why? Yeah. I don't know. She got her dogs, I guess, but those dogs didn't do nothing, you know? It's 3 a.m. I claim no negative energy whatsoever. Yeah. I feel bad, but at the same time, who the hell goes camping alone and stays somewhere far from their car? If you plan to go alone in the woods and camp, you should at least know how to protect yourself. Bring a knife, baseball bat, or any tool for self-defense. Train your dogs to respond in case of danger. Simply recording what's happening won't keep you safe. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, that's just gonna make it an open and close, you know, case for, you know, the cops. But I mean, it's good content for us, I guess. But
across the United States, hundreds of people vanish without a trace in national parks and remote forests. These aren't ordinary disappearances. Trained search and rescue dogs can't pick up a scent. Bodies are found in places already searched. Some are never found at all. Now here's where it gets disturbing. When you overlay a map of the missing 411 cases onto a map of America's largest cave systems, a chilling pattern emerges. The clusters of disappearances line up almost perfectly with the underground. From the endless tunnels of Kentucky's Mammoth Cave System, to the ancient caverns beneath the Appalachian Mountains, to the rugged wilderness of the Rockies and the Ozarks. People are vanishing in areas riddled with deep, unmapped cave networks. Are they falling in, being taken? Or is something using those caves to hide? No one knows, but one thing is certain. Where the caves go, the missing follow.
Yeah, it's like
across the United
feral humans or, you know, some type of weird, like, Bigfoot type of creatures that we've never found, or the government knows about. Something weird, definitely. Like, you can't say that's a coincidence. All these caves connected with all these missing people, you know? Like, I'm granted a few of them probably just went missing, getting lost in the caves, you know? I actually remember hearing a story about this woman who I guess was they were out partying or something, and she got drunk, and they later found her body, like, in a cave, you know? So she, like, wandered off or whatever. So it's just, like, imagine those, like, last moments of life, you know? Like, you're just drunk, you know, out your mind probably, like, in the darkness, just searching around, trying to find your way out of this cave, and you never do. You just eventually pass out or whatever. God, that must have been so freaking scary, bro. Like, anyways.
All right, so the map on top is the missing 411 cluster map. The map on bottom are where all the cave systems are in the U.S. So you tell me, is there something connected here? Because it sure looks like it to me. And I think we all know what kind of things live in caves. Do you think it's just people getting lost and falling in the caves? Or maybe something in the caves itself, like maybe a pill crawler or maybe a Bigfoot? Man, it's something to think about. Let me know in the comments what you think.
Especially in the Appalachians, my God, most definitely giants in Mexico and the Southwest, interdimensional watchers, fallen hybrids. I mean, could be, I guess. Who knows? Thought might interview Native Americans about their lore/legends, skinwalkers, wendigos. Yeah. What is a pill crawler? Pill crawler. What? When experienced hunters and outdoorsmen go missing, it is definitely something suspicious. Yeah. I didn't think about that, but I mean, it's not all just people like that lady you seen in the last video. It's like, if you got guys who, you know, grew up being outdoorsy guys, you know, and they're going missing, someone like that, that guy from the Outdoor Boys, you know, who goes camping a lot in like Alaska and all that stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Guys like that going missing, now that's super, super suspicious. When you hear hoofs, think horses, not zebras. Huh? Okay. What does that mean? Unless you live in Africa. What about the mysterious stairs that go nowhere in the woods? Oh, yeah. Definitely heard about those.
Heather brings up an interesting one. What about the mysterious stairs that go nowhere in the woods? Story goes that there's some people that say not to even go near these guys. If you're fortunate or unfortunate enough to find a staircase alone in the woods, if you go up the staircase, you could meet with a rather untimely fate. Now myself, I'm not sure if I buy this. I did grow up in New England, and you'd be walking in the woods and you would come upon house foundations made out of stone, and sometimes you would find staircases. Now myself, I didn't go walking up those staircases, but I do remember being a little weirded out as they were out of place, and maybe there was an interesting beauty to them. But now that it's a legend,
yeah,
do you really want to be the one that tries walking up the case to see what happens?
I think my toxic trait is that I would definitely walk up those stairs and take a picture. I don't know why, like, obviously if I'm with a group of people or daytime, I wouldn't do that alone or at night. Anyways.
There's some spooky shit in the woods here. There's a section, I mean, not even a mile from right where we're sitting here, that I grouse hunt. Every time I hunt there, I get, whoa, these weird feelings. Like,
Yeah.
I want to get the hell out of here. That stretch of river has been considered haunted.
Really?
Yes. Any honest person who's spent time in the Maine woods at night will tell you there's something up there. And there are tons of accounts of it.
Yeah.
From the early white settlers here, from the Passamaquoddy, the
Native American
tribe. Yeah, exactly. I guess in general, I feel like the separation, the veil, the membrane between this world and the spiritual world is thinner in the woods.
I agree.
You walk into a clearing, the sun's coming down through the trees, and you're like, oh, God created this. Thank you, God. And then there are other moments where you just feel deep, terrifying menace. Man, I was midway down this path on my property that we've had for many years. I know every inch of it. All of a sudden, I had this feeling like, oh my gosh, pure terror. It came out of nowhere. I felt like I was going to freak out. I had to get a hold of myself.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's like your sixth sense kicking in, you know, telling you there's something weird going on. That's like I said, I pretty much always grew up in the city. My dad had a place out in like the outskirts of Tucson called Marana, but it's really just like all desert, you know. But it is still like pretty secluded, you know, like at least a 30-40 minute drive to like Tucson. But anyways, yeah, like there's just an uneasiness about that when you're just like away from, you know, civilization, and especially the woods, like where, you know, anything can happen, you know, like you can go missing, you don't know what weird, creepy stuff, like even just not supernatural, like, you know, what was it, like freaking Bohemian Grove, you know, them doing weird stuff at their cabins out in the woods and stuff like that, dressed up, like even just weird things like that, like backwoods, you know, like hillbilly, you know, like incest families doing God knows what. I'm sure there's a lot of connection, things like that, but in general, like he has a piece of land and he still feels a little uneasiness take over sometimes. I don't know what that says. Northern Maine here, the Allagash is something else. That Allagash? Let's see what that is.
And a remote lake, a blinding light in the sky, and then missing time. What happened in the Allagash wilderness that night, some say is one of the most interesting UFO abductions ever recorded. Listen to this one. In August 1976, 4 friends, twin brothers Jack and Jim Weiner, along with their companions Chuck Rack and Charlie Foltz, embarked on a 2-week canoeing adventure into Maine's remote Allagash wilderness. On their second night, Jim noticed a bright object in the sky. It seemed to appear for about 30 seconds before it vanished. However, 2 nights later, while night fishing on Eagle Lake, the men observed a large, glowing sphere hovering above the water. Charlie, curious, signaled it with a flashlight, prompting the object to approach rapidly and cast a beam down on them. Their next memory was of being back on the shore, feeling unusually tired, and noticed that their once roaring campfire had burned down to just embers. So this suggested that more time had passed than they actually realized. Years later, plagued by vivid nightmares of humanoid beings and medical examinations, the group underwent regressive hypnosis. Each of them recounted strikingly similar experiences of being taken aboard a craft and subjected to examinations by otherworldly beings. Their detailed accounts and consistent testimonies have made...
Well, I guess that's it. I don't think we're supposed to know anymore. That's not creepy at all. It just froze.
Testimonies have made the Allagash alien abduction incident one of the most compelling and debated cases in UFO lore.
Alright, creepy. Want to go canoeing? No. Well, I've never heard of this. I think I remember actually hearing something about, I don't know if it was this one, because there's like so many different things that come out. Is this the same guys who gain math skills and think one of them is a painter? No, okay. One of them started painting weird symmetrical paintings after. I'm never going fishing at night. Yeah, I'm not doing any of that stuff at night. Yeah, that's creepy. That, what was that? I was watching that American Horror Story where they're talking about conduct research and stuff on the American people in exchange for like technology or something like that. This one. Yeah, Eisenhower.
I can't do it. Press the tip onto the paper and move your hand to make a signature.
It's not about a signature. It's condemning thousands of Americans to torture, for one. So we can get our hands on some technology.
You'd rather the Soviet Union get their hands on some technology?
Is it the truth in plain sight?
It's pointless. You could take what you want, we wouldn't be able to stop you. Why do you need a signature?
Because if you go back on our agreement, we will need your signature when we appeal to the American people.
That's blackmail. That's treason, and I won't do it.
You won't sign to help your fellow citizens. Maybe you'll sign to help your insipid wife. You can either put ink to paper or spend days wiping brain matter from the walls.
Sir! Sons of bitches.
And he doomed us all by signing that. I mean, it's funny now going to aliens and stuff. I guess a lot of it can be connected at the end of the day, all this conspiracy stuff. Like if people are disappearing or whatnot, like maybe these alien things or whatever, you know, maybe they just have like a whole laboratory of like people down in those caves or whatever that they've done experiments on, or who knows what. All right, last video.
What was the scariest thing I've ever encountered out in the woods? Well, this one gives me the chills just talking about it. But one time I was out deep on a logging road, and just one of those nights where you got the heebie-jeebies, and the weather was shit. I had forgotten a couple things anyways, so I just convinced myself, you know what, you had a fun drive up, but it's not worth it. Go back into town, come back tomorrow night. So on my way out of the logging road, probably 12 o'clock at night, I've never seen anybody out here. I've never seen anybody out here. Not even ATVers, nothing. I've never even seen Ministry of Natural Resource guys out here. And I see truck lights down an ATV trail. So I park the truck at the mouth of the ATV trail. I look in, and I'm wondering if they're stuck or something, because the truck is running and the lights are on, and it's late at night, so I'm wondering if they're bogged down, because that happens to you sometimes and you got to figure it out. So I approach the truck and there's nobody in it. The back gate is down and there's shovels, and I look off into the distance and I see what I believe to be headlamps. So I call out I said, "Hey, I was just checking on you, making sure everything's all right." So what happened was, the headlamps turned off.
Oof.
Nobody responded to me. And I immediately got shivers down my spine, and I knew something was up. And then I thought about the shovels. I've never seen anybody out here.
I'm gone.
Then I looked at the truck, didn't even have fucking license plates on it. And my shotgun's in the truck, and I'm about a 25-meter dash to the truck. So I'm panicking now, and I start booking it, but I start booking in different directions, and I trip and fall like a fucking idiot. I get up, I see my truck, I book to my truck, I fumble in the back, grabbing the shotgun, I load it, and just as I go to put my shotgun up, the truck is ripping down the road right at me. I get into my truck, I throw it into reverse, and the truck comes right out of the mouth, almost takes off my front end, and just keeps on going. And buddy, if there was any time in my life I was prepared to shoot someone to defend myself, it was that time. That was the scariest time. That was the scariest thing I've ever experienced out in the woods. Again, it's not always animals or aliens that are the scariest things out in the woods.
Yeah, for real.
It's people.
Yeah, like all the other stuff is creepy and, you know, fun to talk about, but that's also a very real and very scary thing is, you know, the people. Like, what were they doing? Like, trying to bury a body or something like that? Came across, I don't know, freaking like gang members, cartel members or something, you know? People with not the best of intentions. That's the last thing I want to see in the woods is another human. They were burying somebody, yeah, probably. That's what I put my money on. I agree, people are always the worst thing to encounter in the woods. Like my grandpa once said, don't be afraid of ghosts. Be afraid of a living MF or a bear. Yeah, for reals. I'm real good at minding my business. As soon as you called at the headlights, mistake. Yeah. Dude, that's terrifying. I go down those kind of roads too, and I'd be shitting bricks if I encountered something like that. Yeah, definitely terrifying. But I guess we'll end it there. What do we learn from this one? I guess don't go to the Appalachian Mountains. Just don't. Yeah, there's a quick way to remember those. Let's just sum it up there. Stay home, guys. Don't go out when it gets late. And definitely, if you hear somebody call your name in the woods, you didn't. I'll see you guys next time.